Pretty solid test fit.
Okay, so I went ahead and pulled off the front bumper and brought it inside so I could go ahead and work on the lip, just because it's kind of still hot here in Texas. So I took this lip and went ahead and sanded around the top of it right there, where I'm going to go ahead and apply the adhesion promoter and then the 3M tape, and then that way hopefully it will stick on a little bit better. And so just finished sanding that down. I'm going to clean it off now with some denatured alcohol. And then once I'm done with that, I will go ahead and clean it again with some isopropyl alcohol and make sure that it's nice and clean. Okay, so after sanding down that inside lip right there, all the way along, and keeping it nice and uniform all the way up, I went ahead and cleaned it off with some denatured alcohol, and then cleaned it with the isopropyl alcohol. Okay, so after I went ahead and sanded down that inside lip and put on the adhesion promoter, I went ahead and ran the 3M adhesive along this whole edge, and I made it completely, as flush as I could possibly get it, right up with the edge right there. Tried to get as close as I could to the edge without actually having it stick over or any adhesive exposed. So hopefully that will work out well. And then along the front edge right here, you can see there's a marking right there, and then one spaced out basically evenly across there. And that is what I'm going to use these push rivets, these nylon retainers for, is to go ahead and secure it up front, and then also kind of give it a cool look with the flathead pieces that attach it evenly spaced apart there. So I think that'll look better than putting screws in it. I know a lot of dudes just use a screw on this side and a screw on the other side. But then you see the screw heads sticking out because they're usually button head screws. If they're flat heads and you don't get them all the way in countersunk to where it's flush, then that looks bad. And then most of the time, from what I've seen, people use like a black painted screw, and it'll rust within a short time, and then you've got rust drips coming down it. So this will be a nice, easily removable solution, and since they are nylon, there is no danger of them rusting. Plus the ones that I'm looking at using actually have a flat kind of satiny black head on it, so once that's down on there, it's going to look a lot better in my opinion than a big screw sticking out of there. So I'm going to go ahead and stick the bumper on and have it held on by the side pieces, and then this 3M adhesive on the side right here, and then I will go ahead and do the drilling, push those retainers through. I realized that I need to also probably take this lower air dam off that looks all crappy and is all shredded up on one side. And anyway, it's got these like metal rivets in it with like these tabs. Looks kind of like a small little metal penis. Several of those across here. And I think the easiest way is probably just going to be able to drill them out from the top. So I went ahead and pulled out my drill and some bits. And I'm going to go ahead and take care of knocking all those out real quick so that I can get this black outside air dam that's all scratched up off. I'll leave this little black one on the inside, obviously. But I'm going to take off this other one, and that way it doesn't show from underneath. Alright, so when I first tried to drill out that rivet, it started to spin. So my quick solution was basically to grip it from the bottom with vice grips, drill through the head. The head is super thin, so once you do that, then the vice grips you can just use to pull the bottom of it straight through and out. So got the first one off. About to work my way along the rest of these, get that dam off so I can put on my new front lip. So that took me roughly about 3 minutes to drill all out. That one's already broken from the bottom, so I didn't need to drill it. But anyway, I went ahead and drilled the rest out. And then basically you've got these little ends that are fit in here with being pushed up under. So really it should just pop out. Mine don't hold in very well. So once you pop those out, you should be able to go ahead and lift off that front little air dam. Same thing on this side. You see the clip goes through there, underneath the back. Alright, this is the tightest this side has ever wanted to hold on. There we go. Alright, so then that gets that piece off. And now I can go ahead and clean under there real well, and won't have to worry about that thing peeking out from underneath. Okay, so I am about to go ahead and put this front piece on. I went ahead and did a pre-peel on the 3M. That way there's just a tiny little corner right here that's exposed and tacky. And I folded it over just basically to where I can grab it and then continue to peel it. And I'll peel along while I align it to make sure that it's where I need, and then I can press it down. And then that way I'm not fighting the whole length of this adhesive. You know, if I happen to touch it down the wrong spot, I gotta peel that whole piece back off. It's much easier if you just have a little corner exposed. So I went ahead and did that on both sides here. I got my pull tabs ready, so I'm gonna go ahead and place it on there, get it positioned, and then when I'm happy with where it sits, I'll start to pull those and push it down, and then I will put some tape over the front of this to hold it in place around the spots I'm gonna screw or drill, and then I'll go ahead and get those drilled out for the push retainers. Alright, so I went ahead and set this center section on here first, and then that way I can go ahead and get it aligned with the corners right here, and make sure that everything lines up, which it is so far. I do need to pull this one and just adjust it a little bit. There's actually some little pieces underneath here, some little basically like stoppers or blocks right there, so I'm using that kind of as a reference to make sure that I get it aligned on there. There, you can probably see it a little bit better now. So basically I'm just adjusting it to where I can kind of get that to sit up against the bumper, and then once I do, I'm just pressing down on that little corner to kind of hold it in place. So now that that's set, I'll go ahead and put some pieces of tape on the other side, and then that way I can hold it. And see, that one's pretty much set up against the bumper too, so that tells me I'm probably pretty close as far as alignment on both of them. Okay, so I'm going along right now where I've made these little markings, X's, and I'm drilling holes to put these little push nylons in there, and it's coming out pretty good. I've got two right here, and then I've got one over here and one over here, and then I'll have one about here, and then one, I think it's here. So just putting those in, and then that'll finish it up. I've got it 3M stuck to the sides right here going up around the corner, and then I went ahead and put some screws around the back, and then from the other side underneath I've got some little metal brackets that will go from the bottom of this lip up to the bumper. I have to attach those, and then I should be good. Okay, so there you go. I've got the buttons in there, and got them evenly spaced out across here, and I have to say I definitely think that looks a lot better than if you were to use screws in there. So obviously the screws are going to look worse, plus if they start to rust, then you've got rust dripping down. If you only put a screw on each corner, then it looks funny because you've only got them there. So this allows me to make it kind of uniform and give it more of a kind of cool but subtle look. So the lip that I got came with these little metal brackets and these little rivets. So I am gonna go ahead and install those because they act as kind of a brace for the center of the lip, and then that way, if you know it's needing some help, it's got some support back here on this side and right here. I think it should be fine with the way that I attached it up top there, but I'm gonna go ahead and attach it anyway just to be safe. And I'm gonna rivet the brackets into the lip because I don't really foresee that I'll need to remove the brackets. If I do need to take the lip off, then the bracket's going to come with it, so might as well just have it permanently attached. Alright, there we go. So now I've got that rivet in there, the bracket's permanently attached. I can go ahead and use the self-tapping screws to screw it into the bottom of the bumper. Just had a quick thought for maybe those of you who might want to use the rivet option but aren't familiar with it. You can pick up one of these rivet guns fairly cheap from any parts store or, you know, Amazon. And then basically it should come with multiple ends on it. It should come with a little wrench to adjust them. And you just really want to be able to go ahead and put the rivet in there, and then you'll basically put this down on whichever one is the tightest setting or tightest fitting around the rivet. And then you just keep squeezing it until, well, you squeeze it, and when you let off, you move the gun down the length of the rivet. Squeeze it, move it down, squeeze it, move it down, but you're always going to be at the base. I'll show you. This is the rivet that I'm using, and so what I'm going to do is, in this hole right here, this rivet is going to go like that, facing up, with this long piece sticking out, the skinny shank. This is what the rivet gun will go down over. So what you want to do basically is match it up and find which one fits the best. See, that's loose, so that one shouldn't probably be the one. That one fits in there much better. That one's really tight, and it doesn't go in that one. So really I should be using this little one right here. So I'm going to go ahead and use my little wrench that comes on the rivet gun to go ahead and just remove this head. Okay, so now with the smaller end screwed in there, that will fit directly right over top of that rivet. So, like I said, you want to go all the way down to the very base of it, and then you want to make sure that your bracket stays. Okay, so I went ahead and taped that bracket down so that way it would be sure to hold the rivet while I am doing the squeezing and moving. So basically I'm going to squeeze down on the rivet gun. It's going to end up creating space, and then you want to make sure you move it all the way back down, and you just keep doing that until it squeezes all the space out, and then it'll break off. So I'm going to do that real quick and get this rivet attached. Trying to do it one-handed is not the easiest, but alright, so there it moved again, you get the idea. So I'm going to finish this off, get the rivet in there, and then that'll be that. With the bracket riveted in place, I've got it screwed down now into the bumper where the front air dam used to be. I'm glad I took that little black one off, so I would have space now to mount that one and this one, which now gives me some support in the center, and I should never have to worry about it sagging. In addition, like I said, I do have some screws that I put in on the side over there, and then of course I've got those push retainers up under this side, so I really should not have to worry about this thing coming loose, vibrating, falling off, or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and call this one complete, flip it over, and go put it on the car. Alright, let's go put this bad boy on.